What's going on, everybody? We are live here with the Weekly Walkoff, the third ever episode. It is Sunday, March 26th. We are 1 week away from the MLB season, 4 days away, better yet. I'm here with Greg and Nate. Welcome on in. We're fresh off a World Baseball Classic, and we got a packed agenda today. We are going to run through the World Baseball Classic very briefly, an exciting semifinals and a final last week. We all know how that went down. Do an opening day preview. We got a three-way MLB team draft between the three of us, spearheaded by Greg over here. It's going to be awesome. I'm so excited for that. Then we'll do our 2023 predictions, talk about some player props going into the season, do a candy update and a Sorare MLB update before we cap it off. Boys, welcome back.
Yo.
Excited to be here. Look at this fresh new background. We got a little Sorare. We got a little candy.
Shout out Nate for that one. We got Strider, the cheat code, and then your boy Devers.
Had to have Devers on that.
Who wins in that matchup?
Devers all day.
Yeah. Ooh. That's right.
Beg to differ. What's going on, Mike? Mike 23X in the house. What's going on, Mike? Yeah, Devers in the World Baseball Classic. Let's hope he dusts the bat off going into the season. I'm excited. I will say this just to start it off. I was so hard for me to not draft Tristan Casas. What was he, an 11 capper? We'll get into all that stuff later in the show. And apologies for my voice, guys. I just was rocking my San Diego State Aztecs to the team hold in the building to the the final. Let's go.
Yeah, you've been screaming all morning, so it's forgivable. We'll pick up the slack.
That one was intense, man. Almost as intense as the World Baseball Classic. Shall we get into it?
Let's do it.
Unreal game. Exciting enough baseball going into the season, or what?
I mean, the championship was such an incredible game, but the Mexico-Japan semifinal game was the game of the tournament, I think, if we want to start there.
One of the best baseball games that I have ever seen. It was Sasaki versus Sandoval, both lights out. Urias as a highlight here, home run to put Mexico up 3-0. Japan stranded the bases in the 5th and 6th. Ohtani was on deck. Urquidy got him out of both of those jams. Amazing. Masataka Yoshida in the 7th. Your guys' boy. How about that?
That nothing made me more excited than seeing that happen. I mean, I'm sure Nate can attest, like, my emotions this offseason about this upcoming Sox season have been a roller coaster. But that one swing, I was like, oh, okay, I have a reason to watch. I have a reason to be excited. Welcome to the show.
I saw you tweet that out, and I could not have agreed more. I was like, oh my God. You know, he's not going to be a power guy, but the fact that he hit that in that moment, if he's, a 300 bat, yeah, like one additional bat like that could change everything when you've got somebody like Devers. So yeah, me too.
I don't know about you as a Sox fan, when he was at the plate and the stakes had been presented, something in the back of my head was like, he's going to homer here. This is a moment.
Yeah.
And he did. And it wasn't pretty. It was like,
but it was impressive.
But it absolutely was.
It was off his toes. I think what's fun about baseball is just the story that develops throughout the game. And that Urias home run was so fluky. It was 2 bloops and a blast, right? It's the kind of thing that you try and do when you're getting outmatched, which they were. And so they go up 3-0 on what felt like a 5-out inning. And like you said, Japan knocking on the door. And on the most unlikely pitch, Yoshida ties it up. And then just down the stretch, it was just as incredible. But yeah, one of the better games I've ever watched for the game of baseball.
Absolutely unbelievable. Yeah, after that, the Yoshida home run happens. Randy Arozarena answers with a clutch double, and your guy Verdugo doubles him in right after that. And then, of course, Shohei Ohtani, leadoff double in the 9th with the Murakami walk-off. Mm-hmm. The emotion there. I have one note here down at the bottom. Rowdy snap bat. I don't know if you guys saw Rowdy Tellez snap bat like a twig. It was so awesome. But that thing...
I saw a tweet that was like, have you ever seen this happen in March? Crazy.
Great point. Great point. Yeah, incredible. And then, yeah, just unbelievable game. And then the final couldn't have ended in any other way. We're going to move on into our season predictions here in a little bit, but we can't leave without talking about the final. Trey Turner, Murakami, Schwarber, and then Ohtani and Trout to finish it all.
I got to tell you my my anecdote for watching this game. First of all, I work in LA. I live in LA, work in LA. These games are on at 4 p.m. Pacific, right? So like I'm either at the office or I'm driving home. There's no radio broadcast. So I'm watching driving, but like at red lights, I'll see the little score being updated. I got home and I had with my wife, I had like a meeting to go to, like a financial Zoom we had to do. So I've never done this, but I paused the game and I turned my phone off and I prayed that like it wasn't going to be spoiled. And the moment that we were supposed to get on the Zoom was Shohei coming out of the bullpen to close it, knowing that Trout was going to be a third. And I was like, I need to see this play out. I cannot like get a notification on my phone. Of course it did, like doesn't pause, whatever. I like lock myself in the bedroom and make her go on YouTube and find it without like any, spoilers, but she got it. Bless her heart. She got it. So I saw it like 3 hours after you guys saw it, but it wasn't spoiled and I saw it play out in real time.
That's commitment. I love it.
It was incredible.
What an assist from the wifey. I love it.
Oh yeah.
Hold on. I'm going to turn on my, forgot
that. But that moment, I mean, that moment of Ohtani versus Trout as the last at bat in a tournament where like that question was looming, like, could this happen? Could they face each other? For that to happen the way it did is like just another example of why baseball is, there's nothing like baseball. Like that is the poetic, perfectly written story that only happens in baseball. And that's just another example.
1,000,000%. I mean, look at the emotions on this thing. Like he came in, the way that they celebrated, that's one of the ones where you're leaving the TV on as long as possible to watch them celebrate and hold that trophy, man. That was well-deserved team performance by Japan. Just everybody stepped up when they needed to. We got a lot of guys that we should be excited about to see coming in from Japan, man. Like Sasaki, Murakami, those guys are going to be big-time dudes, hopefully in the MLB sometime soon.
Here's my question. With Trout and Ohtani getting a taste after, many disappointing seasons on the Angels, do you think that affects this team moving forward? They both got a taste of that. Nothing to be said about them facing each other. Like put all that behind them, but getting that thirst. Do you think that changes this season? It's tough to.
I do.
Yeah, I think it changes the season. I also think that it changes how heavily Ohtani pushes to get out of there, right? Like if they don't figure it out, which it's a big if, that is, we forget how human these guys are and that money is not the only factor, right? It's where you are, what the team is, what that culture is like. So yeah, I think it changes everything for Trout and for Ohtani. It's to taste those stakes. I don't think Ohtani had ever experienced like something like that. And so I do think it shifts the whole paradigm.
And he rose to the occasion, man. 102, clocking the fastballs.
Oh, he outmatched him.
Slider, that sweeping slider, just an incredible pitch to cap it off, man. Absolutely unreal. I mean, we'll see. I think, Greg, that's a great question, but I think, yes, they're destined to step it up this year. We will see. It's going to be a tough playoff race, man. I was looking at the teams as I was preparing, of course, for our team draft, kind of ranking teams in which order we want. And you'll get into the scoring. There are kickers for playoff wins, playoff series wins. And, it was hard for me to imagine the Angels in there, Angels not in there. That was a huge thing. So what's going on? We got some guys popping in the chat. Shout out Soul Bro. Shout out Team Hold and Mike23X or Mike and Mumu. Jordan Hutchinson in the building. Hey, lads. Need some help. New to MLB as an Aussie. So Rare has brought him in. Jordan, stick around. We'll be getting to our common drafts at the end of this episode here and a bunch of So Rare tips. So shall we move it on into the preseason preview or anything to tie up World Baseball Classic?
Bring on 2026. That I can't wait for it again.
I cannot wait for 2026, man. The fact that they announced that, would they announce that the day before the final?
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. Cool. Well, we are 4 days away from opening day and a lot of big time matchups coming in. I'm excited. Later on in the episode, we'll be giving away a Max Scherzer who will be starting on opening day. So somebody's going to be able to insert him into their So Rare lineup, courtesy of the Weekly Walkoff, and shout out to So Rare for that. Matchups, just at a glance here, I'll run through them real quickly. Mets at Marlins, 4:10. These are all Eastern time. So if you're out on the West Coast like me and Greg over here, we got a 1 o'clock Mets and Marlins game. Start the morning off with my Giants out at Yankee Stadium. Logan Webb versus Garrett Cole. I love that matchup. Phillies.
10 a.m. baseball.
10 a.m. baseball. Gotta love it. I'm pulling the trigger on the MLB package. Extra innings. It's happening this year. So might as well get it started right away. And jump in here, guys. Feel free to stop me whenever you need to. But Nola versus DeGrom. How about that?
DeGrom's first on the Rangers.
There we go. Shane Bieber, Luis Castillo. So many matchups. So many former Cy Youngs pitching. We got Shohei, Kyle Mueller, Angels, A's.
Is that? I guess you know what? Kyle Mueller. I've never heard of him. Then again, if you asked me to name an A's pitcher, I don't think I could. So
yeah, that's kind of the running problem with the A's, isn't it?
Yeah. So is that their ace? Must be.
I've never heard of the guy either. To be honest with you, that's got to be their number one dude. So
well, at least he's got an easy matchup on opening day. Shohei Ohtani.
Yeah. Trout. Yeah. Good luck with that 1, 2, 3. Maybe a diamond in the rough. We'll see.
Slam dunk Shohei start in So Rare for game week 1.
There we go. Yeah. And dare one of you to pick the A's is not the last pick. D-backs at Dodgers. I'll be at that one in LA. Zach Gallen versus Julio Urias. I love that matchup right there. That's going to be a fun one. Gallen is a stud. Dylan Cease, Framber Valdez. Love that. A Cy Young contender. And we'll have our Cy Young MVP division winner picks as the next segment just right after this one. Herman Marquez and Blake Snell in San Diego. You guys, I'll stop myself here. I was looking at the Sunday night baseball games, right? Because we're leading right up into Sunday night baseball. It's funny which teams get the love, man. There are so many games of the same teams in there. You see a lot of Padres this year. You see a lot of Mets this year. Those were the two that jumped out at me the most. But Padres and Mets all have like 5 or 6 of those Sunday night games. Braves too, of course.
As it should be.
Yeah.
You got to put the spotlight on the best for the Sunday night game.
My Giants get 2. I know you guys have the Yankees on Sunday night at least once. So we got some love too. But Blue Jays at Cardinals, Twins, Royals, Braves, Nationals, and Orioles, Red Sox, Tigers, Rays, Pirates, and the Reds.
Are we into Friday now? Like there's only a couple games Thursday, or are there full slate Thursday?
No, I think it's full slate Thursday.
Thursday, baby.
Yes.
This is all Thursday.
Oh, this is exciting.
Yeah, it's the best. I'm so excited. Yeah, all 15 of these games on Thursday opening day. So
and we should talk too about some of the news in the past couple of days. We got Jordan Walker making the Cardinals roster.
Yep.
We got Volpe making the Yankees roster. So like super young studs, hopefully future superstars.
I didn't see the Volpe news.
I didn't see Volpe either.
I think I mean, well, here
I believe you.
Quote me now, but I think it happened. I know it because I remember looking at my call-up challenge for Candy and thinking, well, that's done.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw Walker. I love that tweet from Candy this morning about Walker. That they had the video reaction and everything like that. What a spring he had.
Yeah.
So excited to watch him play in the Cardinals outfield. That team is just stacked.
That Walker is actually the best card that we've hit in a Talking Candy break so far. We hit the perfect epic Jordan Walker 2 weeks ago. Yep.
Whoa.
Yep.
That,
big hit.
that's like the third, you could argue the third, maybe fourth best Walker card on the site.
Yeah.
Behind legendary jersey number 1.
Yeah. And probably in the set. I mean, arguably he's the most expensive card in the set right now. So it's a pretty big hit.
That's incredible.
Amazing.
James confirms. I'm good.
Wow. Confirmed by James. Thank you, James.
I'm not happy about it.
It would be awesome. It'd be awesome.
I'm happy about it, just saying that it happened.
I was hoping that it hadn't been confirmed yet, Greg, and then you would be the official breaking news.
You'd be investigated for leaks.
Let's go. That's all I got. I mean, I can't wait for opening day. We'll talk. I mean, I'm going to be doing, I think, some player prop stuff like on my Instagram and maybe even bring it into some shorts on TikTok and YouTube and stuff like that. But like I'm gonna be counting units, betting heavy on almost daily on baseball this year. So I'll keep you guys posted with how that goes. Maybe we do a little segment later on. But as far as that goes, man, I think now is the time to jump into our team draft, which is what I'm excited about. After that, maybe we do our predictions, and then I can go over some like season long props that I picked out. But shall we do that?
Let's do it. Yeah. So to recap, we talked about 30 teams, 3 of us, 10 teams each, just doing a draft and scoring based on things that happen throughout the season. I spent so long trying to figure out how to score this thing that I did no preparation. But let's start at least with that. We can go over what counts, how we're going to be scoring points here.
There we go.
Okay, so forgive my Word doc here. And shout out to ChatGPT who set the groundwork for me to figure this out. But so we'll be drafting teams. And based on each team's performance, we'll get points. And then it's your whole suite of teams. So all 10 teams, points added up. It's going to be a monster amount of points, but I think it'll be fun throughout the season. So what you can score on. Every win in the regular season for your team is a point. My personal favorite stat here is run differential at the end of the season. So, nice. The amount of runs that your team scores versus the amount of runs that you give up will be the amount of points that you get in that category.
Colorado Rockies, nice.
Yeah. What's exciting about that is that it could go positive. It'll go positive for some teams. It'll go negative for some teams. And statistically, mathematically, like every run plus is a run minus on another team. So that will be a constantly evolving kind of point scale for us throughout the season. And then single game achievements, any of these, 4 or 5 times a season occurrences, if we're lucky, you get a little boost there too. And what I love here is that, whichever one of us gets the A's, there's always that off chance there's a cycle or a no hitter, right? To kind of bring up the rear a little bit.
Here we go.
Then we get to the playoffs, the money I guess end of season. So division winners, 50 points, wild card spot, 25 points. And then got to show some love to our statistical category leaders, knowing that could also be a team that doesn't make the playoffs. Anything else you guys want to throw in here? I threw just average, the Triple Crown categories and stolen bases, just because that'll be a fun stat to track this season.
I think it's good. You got the key ones.
Cool.
Yep.
Pitching, ERA, wins, and strikeouts. And then, of course, the money comes when you start winning series in the playoffs. So
should we just add saves into pitching?
Oh, yeah, let's do it.
Nice. Good call.
So 50 points for the division, 100 for the championship series, and then the World Series hopefully puts you over the top. So we'll have a little ongoing running chart. We'll it'll be the bane of my existence probably to update that every week, but I'm here for it. I love it. So let's do it.
Let's do it. What's our draft time? I got mine pretty dialed in, but there's also some variability of what you guys pick. So all
right, well we got to pick the draft order here.
Yeah, we doing a snake draft here.
Here we go.
Yeah, do you guys like snake? I'm down for snake.
Yeah, let's snake it.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, first pick goes to.
I love this spinner. I gotta get me one of these.
Oh, slow down, baby.
Ooh, rigged.
That's right. I mean, in a snake though, is it rigged in a snake? I don't know.
I don't know. I'm joking.
Okay.
Love it.
And
nice.
For number 2.
Here we go. Second pick.
All right.
I'm at 2.
Boom.
All right. I'll take 3-4. I'll take 3-4.
Okay.
So, how are we looking here? Okay. Well, here we go. First overall pick. Man, I was hoping I didn't have to make this decision.
Yeah, I very much did not want the first pick.
Oh, man. So I think I'm going to go, which could bite me in the ass. I'm going to go Braves.
Oh,
They're not the Vegas favorites, but
give
I don't
me
know.
the fine. I'll take the Stros.
Well, I can't take the Yankees, so give me the Mets and the Padres.
Oh, there we go.
Oh my God, I'm so bad at this. Where? San Diego. For some reason, San Diego's invisible. You barely see it.
Oh, it's
right.
my turn. My bad. Okay, give me the Blue Jays, baby.
Oh man, damn. Do I gotta take the Dodgers then? Oh, man, no, the Yankees are still out there.
Two.
Oh, I have two. No. Oh yeah, I do have two.
You got two.
Oh. God. I guess I have to. I have to take the Yankees, right?
Boo.
But I'm going to take them. But I'm going to take them in the third round. So Dodgers.
Smart
And
move.
then-
Smart move.
No, yeah, God. See, I've already the
I'll take them if you don't.
crack in the armor. You know. What do I have? Different divisions. I'm going fun, baby. I want to have fun this year. Let's go.
All right.
There we go.
I like it.
Ooh. All right. You know what's so funny? Here, check this out. I made a list of just my order of teams that I was going to draft in based on this draft.
Mm-hmm.
Below the A's at the bottom. I'm leaving you guys the Red Sox, and I have the Dodgers and the Padres below the A's. Those were my do not draft.
Oh, for the do not draft? Oh, wow.
Yeah, I love it. All right. So, yeah, give me the Yankees.
Yeah, that's a freebie at that point.
Yeah.
Oh, man, that's just showing our fan. I was hoping that it wouldn't
I
even
love
come
it.
to that.
I love it.
You
We,
have
like,
to, you have
can't
to let
do
it
it.
shine through a little bit, right?
Yeah.
All right. Give me the Phillies and the Cardinals.
Oh,
Good
nice
pick.
pick.
Good pick.
Nice pick. I wanted the Cardinals to fall to me. Guardians.
Damn it.
And give me
All right, you're just one.
gosh. I'm just one. Oh, yeah, my bad. Yep.
Oh, man, we're already getting into the scraps. I get two?
Yeah, you got two.
Oh, God.
Got any comments here? I got my cheat sheet up, so I can't see the comments. Here we go.
Jim loves the Yankee hate.
Loves the Yankee
Yeah.
hate. There we go. Rookie of the year winners. I guess we already drafted. We could, but that's a tough one to predict.
The only reason I didn't put those end of season awards is just like we'll be waiting a few more weeks. Whereas I like the idea of the World Series kind of capping the.
Good call. Good call.
Um,
What's up, Zooter? Hey, everybody. Welcome on in. Hey, just so you know, we are drafting 10 teams each right now to track throughout the season. If you're new joining live, I noticed a couple people jump in, so I wanted to kind of break it down what we're doing. But each one of us is drafting 10 teams. We're going to post these up on Twitter. You're going to jump on board with one of us. You're going to tail us all year. Let's go.
all right. I'm going. I don't like it, but I'm going Rays and Angels.
Rays and Angels. There we go. Rays was a definite consideration.
Well, you got the MVP locked up there at least.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
Unless somebody else wants to break the home run record this year, I think we know who's getting the MVP for a while.
Mm-hmm.
There we go. Let's give me the Brew Crew, baby.
Good
All
pick.
right. Let's go. We'll go Twins, White Sox.
Nice. Twins and Sox. Sox were up there on my next pick. Yep. Oh, this is a tough one for me. This is right around where my boys fall. But I think I'm going to have to go. Give me the Texas Rangers.
Oh, damn it. I am them next. Well, at least this makes the decision easy because they are
The
next in
Sox
the-
are off the board.
Vegas thinks they're next. Damn, okay. Do I leave you your Giants?
That's up to you.
I don't want too many AL East teams. Oh, man. I feel like I've taken too many risks already, but
There's two teams I like right here.
yeah. I'm going Marlins.
Nice. All right.
Just, wasn't statistically the right choice, but
Jazz.
I'm here for Jazz. I'm here for Arise.
That team has a wide range of outcomes, I'd say.
Yeah.
It's a
Tough
fun one.
division.
Yeah.
Solbro says Greg grabbing all the A teams up next. Zona
That's
and
right.
Oakland.
Only A logos.
What's going on, Astro? All right. Put them on the board. The boys at the Bay.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you, Greg. I'll remember that one. Did me a solid.
We gotta go with the Orioles. Too fun not to.
Nice.
And then what are we gonna do here? Coming down to it. Give me the D-backs.
Nice. Give me the Cubbies.
All right.
D-backs are going to be a fun one to watch, man. That could be your West Coast team staying up for those games.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go Bobby Witt hype train and
Nice.
O'Neal Cruz, baby.
I love it.
Love it.
Nice. Yeah. Wow. Nate, that's your only West Coast team, huh?
Is it?
Yeah. Oh no, Padres.
Padres too, yeah.
Padres and D-backs. Okay, nice. Yeah.
Sticking with my roots.
Greg, nice picks. I like the Royals on that. At least they'll be fun to watch, right? What do we got here? 4 teams left. Give me the Reds. Give me the Reds.
No, I didn't realize with the snake
on.
draft and first pick, that means I get the literal last
You do.
scrap team.
You
So it's up
do.
to you guys.
Yeah, we'll go Nats Tigers. Easy call.
Nice. Oh, this is tough. I guess I'll go Rockies.
You got to, just for the altitude alone, extra diggers.
Yeah,
All right.
Greg, but your punishment, if you lose this league, your punishment should be having to go to an Oakland A's game.
I'll take that.
So bad.
Yeah, the winner
you
gets to choose the 2 games that the loser or each of the losers has to go to from their spread of teams.
Yeah. And you have to eat one of the hot dogs there. They're atrocious. Disgusting.
That was fun.
All right.
That was fun.
That was
like
awesome. Save that. Make sure we save that. What's going on? Texas being slept on a good, if not great lineup, and added some firepower to the rotation. Yep.
I agree. That was a good pick by you. A good scoop that late.
Just a brutal division.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. That's what they got working against them, man. That division's going to be tough. The Angels, They added firepower too. Of course, the Astros and the Mariners. We'll see how it goes, but yeah, I'll throw them on the squad. All right, we drafted our teams. We'll put them up for y'all to see. I think we move on to division predictions here.
Let's do it.
We got just go round robin, I guess. You want to keep the same order as we did for the draft? Greg, myself, Nate.
Yeah, so are we just picking out who we think's going to win the division?
Yeah, start with the AL East.
So wait, so we can each pick the same team though, right? So
yeah.
So, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I want it to be the Blue Jays, but I feel like it's tough to bet against the Yankees. I will say their recent pitching woes are promising for them not to win the division. But if I have to put my flag in the sand, I'm going to follow the Yankees hate and say Blue Jays.
Jays. I'm taking the Jays too, Greg. Let's go.
All right.
Oh my God. I don't want to do it, but it's too much of a free square. I'm going Yankees.
Jays, and Yanks.
He's smart.
All right. Central up next. Clean sweep? Perhaps. What do you got, Greg?
I'm going to go. I got to go Guardians.
Guardians.
Same.
I'm on the Guardians. Clean sweep all the way through.
Yeah.
White Sox will be fun to watch. Twins will be fun to watch too. Honestly, could get spicy in the AL Central.
Yeah.
But I love the Guardians last year. I love cheering for the Guardians too.
They're still fun. They're still young. Yeah.
Yep. All right. Moving on. Oh, let me zoom in on this screen a little bit.
This feels like
There you go.
This
All
feels like the clean sweep of the night here.
AL West.
Yeah, it's tough to
No
go
two
against
ways
the
about
Astros.
this one.
Yeah.
Stros all the way down.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
All right.
Mariners just don't quite have that offense yet.
NL East.
This is a good one.
This is really good. I mean, it's between the Braves and the Mets,
Yeah, of course.
but
Both had 101 last year.
Rhys Hoskins out too. We didn't talk about that in the opener either. Rhys Hoskins, terrible. That's
yeah.
terrible to see.
I mean, it seems I want it to be the Mets, despite the fact that I just drafted the Braves first. But there's something about the plague that's been going around between Edwin Diaz, Brandon Nimmo. I don't know. I feel like with Acuna back, I'm going Braves.
Yep. Same thing. I'm going Braves too. I do think the Mets put it together for the playoffs. I mean,
Yeah.
there's more money to spend over there for Uncle Steve. So they're going to put together. They're going to see how the bullpen goes. They're going to put it together. I have them making a little bit of a run here. So we'll go into that next. But I'm going with the Braves too. What about you, Nate?
I would like to go against you guys for the fun of it, but I'm on such a big Acuna hype train this year. I think we finally get him to come back to what he looks like. And if we get that combined with all the other stuff that's going right for the Braves, I'm going Atlanta.
They're absolutely stacked. Solbro makes a good point right here. Without Altuve, Astros don't have it too easy. That's just true. We'll see how the season starts off for them. I mean, it's definitely going to be interesting to see. Hopefully he gets back sooner rather than later. NL Central, who we got?
Cards.
Cards.
There are a couple people out there in the baseball world taking the Brewers. So we'll see if it does get spicy. I mean, like their three arms are solid. I mean, like top three guys are really deep. So if they can get those bats going, if they have some players bounce back, Winker's out there now, they can make things exciting. So, all right, the Cards is a clean sweep, and then the NL West, a spicy one down here.
I know where I'm going.
I feel like you gotta go Padres, I think.
I'm going the Dodgers.
Okay.
I'm going Padres.
Padres, and Dodgers.
Sure you don't want the Giants. You can have the Giants. They're available.
I'm taking the Dodgers on this one. Giants sneaking into a wild card, making a deep World Series run.
So here's my question: which division is the biggest runaway from first to wild card, or division winner to wild card, and then which division is the tightest race into September?
Great question. Tightest race for me has got to be the AL East. There's just too many teams getting it done.
You mean the whole division, Greg, or top two?
Top. Well, we should do both, but top. I was thinking top two.
I'm going Mets Braves on top two.
Mets Braves. That's a good call too.
Yeah, it's got to be that or Dodgers Padres.
Yeah. Dodgers Padres.
But
spicy.
But yeah, I mean Yankees Blue Jays. There's a lot of potential for those two.
Rays even too. Rays stay healthy.
You. Yep.
Yeah.
Their arms are filthy. And one of the things too is there's not as many divisional games this year too. So they made that adjustment. There's not as many in division games as there were last year. So something for sure to keep in mind.
I think probably the AL East is the only division where it's feasible that any team could win the division.
That is true. Yeah.
They're still the Red Sox, and the Orioles are not the Orioles of old.
Yeah.
What do we got as the biggest runaway? I really like that question though, because it could be tough, man. I think
the biggest spread between 1 and 2.
It's definitely not the East.
I might give it to the Cardinals.
Cardinals.
I mean, I'm like way hyped on the Cardinals, and I haven't done enough research to give you a valid reason why. But between Jordan Walker and just Arenado and Goldschmidt, and their hype from the World Baseball Classic, so I don't know. I like that, but
I'll take the Guardians on that one.
Okay,
it's good too.
I'm torn between those two. I'm probably gonna go Cardinals. Yeah, I'm gonna go Cardinals. Biggest runaway. So, all right. Next
Put it
up,
on the board.
Put it on the board. Next up, we have predictions for the pennant. Going through the format. Who makes it through the AL? Who makes it through the NL? Let's start with the AL. I'll go first if you don't mind. I'm taking the Jays in the AL. Big on the Jays this year.
If they click, yeah, they're going to be unstoppable.
Lead the league in OPS type of bats. Like they got a lot of firepower there, and I think their arms are solid too. So if their 4 and 5 can click, if they get to the postseason and they're using less arms, if Manoah is as good as he was last year, a lot of ifs in baseball, but I like the Jays in the AL this year.
This is tough. Could go Yankees. I'm thinking I'm going Stros though.
Stros.
I don't think they win, but I think Stros go to the series again.
It's tough to bet against the Stros.
They're just that good.
Yeah.
They're the Dodgers now.
They are good.
But I'll be a contrarian. I'm going to say the word Astros so I can edit it later at the end of the season and say my prediction was right. So Astros, but not really. I'm going to go to be different. I'm going to go. Shoot, this is tough.
It's tough to go different.
Let's the miracle season for the Guardians.
Let's
go.
Nice. Let's go.
Let's do it.
Love it.
I mean, we know they're going to make the playoffs, so just got to get hot. Just got to get real hot.
Real hot.
McKenzie and Beaver just dealing.
Yeah.
Passe shutting them down.
Terry Francona just being Francona. Championship
Love
mindset.
it. I would love to see it. I truly would love to see that. NL. I got the Braves going all the way. Fun pick, but Blue Jays Braves is my World Series.
I will take the Padres.
Smelled that one coming.
So I don't want to pick the same.
You can do it.
Well, now I'd have conflicting things to root for. I'm going to say Mets. Let's do it.
Pods and Mets. Yeah, I like it. No, That's a good one too, man. I think, I don't know. I think we talked about this already, but I don't see, for some reason, I can't see the Mets falling to the Padres 2 years in a row like they did last year, man. That was too brutal for them after that type of season. I would like to think that they get the upper hand on the revenge match no matter what the Padres do this season, but you never know. All right. World Series winner. Let's start with Nate.
I'm just gonna be a Padres guy this year.
Let's go.
I'm going full on Padres.
Padres.
They've got the best play-by-play announcer in the MLB.
That is true.
Who is
That
he?
is true.
Don Orsillo.
Okay.
Donnie Baseball.
Former Red Sox announcer.
All right.
Yeah, I would love to see playoff Don,
Mm-hmm.
even though he doesn't announce the games, but just watching him react.
Yep.
Well, no, I don't want to pick the Mets or the Guardians to win the World Series. I guess I got to stick with the Mets.
The Mets.
You made your bed.
Yeah,
I'm going Braves over Blue Jays. As much as I like the Blue Jays, I think it's the Braves. All right. Rapid fire. Let me see what else we got here.
What's
Rapid
that?
fire.
Braves over Blue Jays, Mets over Guardians, and Padres over Astros.
If you'd asked in a different order, I would not have said Guardians, but it's all right. I'll stick with it. Let's do it.
Hey, you make your call. You do the same picks as us if you need to.
I'm buying a Guardians jersey tonight. We're doing it.
Individual winners. AL MVP, NL MVP. This was a tough one for me. I'll give both of my MVPs first, then you guys can go, and then we'll do Cy Youngs, and then we'll move on. But AL MVP, I was torn between the obvious Shohei Ohtani and the dark horse Kyle Tucker. I'll go ahead and say Shohei, but my dark horse is Kyle Tucker on a contract year. NL MVP, the odds-on favorite is Juan Soto this year, but I'm taking Ronald Acuna Jr. I like both of them. I like both of those guys to potentially win the NL MVP, but I'll go Shohei and Acuna.
Go ahead, Greg. I'll give you. I won't let you feel pressured in the third spot this time.
Yeah, I'll be different. I can be a contrarian by design. NL. I'll do AL first. I'm gonna do dark horse out of left field, or I guess out of shortstop, Corey Seager.
Love it.
To have the biggest bounce back year of anyone's career.
Former
with the
MVP,
shift
right? Did he win it?
Yeah, with the shift being taken away. And I love the Acuna call. Do we go? Ooh. I'm going to go Mookie.
Mookie Betts.
Yeah.
Like it.
Who
you got, Nate?
Well, I'm going to take the free square with Ohtani.
Okay.
I mean, Acuna and Soto are those two guys that I really like this year to bounce back from where they were at last year. But I've been boring with my picks so far, and I know you guys are staring at me, so I feel like I gotta mix it up here. It's tough though.
Here's the Action Network odds. Ohtani is a plus 195. Aaron Judge plus 474. Mike Trout both tied. Then Julio, Jordan, Vladdy, J-Ram, Seager. Your boy Devers in there at plus 2,000. Franco, Rutschman, Tucker.
What's the NL?
NL.
That's wild. They have Wander Franco that high, having never played a full season. That's crazy.
It's crazy. Let me see here. Soto, Mookie, Acuna are the top three. Trey Turner, Tatis,
Give me Trey
Goldschmidt.
Turner. Put it on the board.
Put it on the board.
That's a good one. That was that's what I was between.
I like it.
Him and Mookie.
My answer is Soto, but I can't take chalk on both sides.
Respect.
Look at James's comment. 23 prediction.
Oh,
I like it.
As much as I hate to say it, I don't see him not being an LA Dodger.
Ohtani closes the World Series Game 6 against the Guardians as the Mets take the title. That's my prediction. Me and James collabing on that one.
Dude, love it. All right. Before we get into, let's take a look at the agenda here. Before we get into the candy update, which you guys will run, I'll just do a couple of player props that I have, if y'all don't mind, real quick. And I use these from PrizePicks, right? I just use this MLB season right here. Multi-home run games, home runs, 10 strikeout, plus 10 strikeout games, saves, strikeouts, hits, RBIs, ERA. I just picked a couple of the fun ones. All overs, of course. We're taking the overs. We got some more hot takes in here from Eric Everett. What we got? Angels make the playoffs and Ohtani signs an extension. That's a steaming hot take.
I love it, but
would love to see it.
It is hot.
I mean,
it is hot.
Piping hot take. All right. So I did some fun ones. I didn't really mess around with the ERA, the RBIs, the over, the total numbers, right? I did multi-home run games, home runs, strikeouts, or 10 plus strikeout games. And a couple of them that I came up with were, here's my nerdy Google sheet. Plotted out the whole playoffs right there in a bracket. And I shot these over to you guys already in the Discord, but let's zoom in here. Okay. Multi-homer games.
That Trey Turner
O'Neal.
at one.
Mm-hmm.
He does it once and you're in. That's insane.
Crazy. Yeah. Trey Turner over a half a game, multi-homers, 2 homers in a game. Trey Turner, Bo Bichette, 1.5, and O'Neal Cruz all on the over. For home runs, I took Acuna Jr. over 30.5, Seager over 25.5, and then Arias, who hit 2 in one game at the World Baseball Classic, over a measly 6.5. The batting champ, put some respect on his name. He's been hitting the gym this offseason. 10 plus strikeout games, my guy Logan Webb, over 1.5. Max Fried, over 0.5. A guy who I think could win the Cy Young this year, potentially. Sandy Alcantara, over 3.5. And I forgot to actually mention, like maybe we can skip over if you guys have any thoughts on the Cy Young Award winners. I took down here Garrett Cole and Aaron Nola as my favorites for the Cy Young winners. Garrett Cole's never won one. Aaron Nola, don't think he has either, but he's just had that contract stuff go down where they're not extending him. So he's going to be playing through the season and a free agent at the end of the year.
Nice. He had the highest WAR last year, right, for a pitcher?
Nola, that
Aaron
sounds
Nola,
about right to me.
It was a shock to me. I was like, whoa. I mean, I drafted him in the 4th round in my fantasy team. And I was like, ugh, I got to take Nola. But the more I read, the more I'm like, okay, this is a good pick.
He has a high K per 9 rate. He's a dog. Who you got?
I'll go McClanahan and Corbin Burns.
Nice. Love those picks.
I'm going to go Manoah.
Nice.
Like it.
And Verlander's in the NL now, huh?
Yeah. Back to back. I almost took
I'm gonna go Strider though.
Strider.
I feel like that mustache just bam.
Love it. Cool. A couple more comments down here. There we go. Manoah, Scherzer, Cy Youngs.
It's a good call.
Eric Everett, double E in the chat. Good to see you. Solbro, Urias, looking for the bag. He'll be a sleeper for Cy Young. Urias was great last year. Just barely nudged out, I think, by Sandy Alcantara. And then Killian, you guys think Aaron Judge will be a lot worse this year? No, I think he keeps it up. I don't think he hits 62. Some people are saying he hits more, but his over-under, if you want to check this out, for total season home runs is pretty dang close. It's like 45.5 or something like that. It's way up there. So
Judge,
I think 45.5.
I think it's a tough question to answer. It's a tough question to answer about Judge just because he He certainly won't be a lot worse, but will he have the same like statistical anomaly season, one of the greatest hitting seasons of all time? No, I don't think so.
Right.
But he will not be bad by any
But he'll
stretch.
still hit for average and power and be one of the best bats in all of baseball.
100%.
All right.
Fourth place Yankees in the AL East.
You mean the division winning?
Yeah.
It makes sense. It makes sense why you guys let him slip all the way down to me now, you know?
I know we're going to regret that.
Fourth round in the draft.
We're too starry-eyed at the start of the season.
Yeah. Who wants to take it away with candy? What candy updates we got? Jersey.
I can pull up if you want to throw me the share. Let's see. Where did I do? Yeah, here we go. I can pull up the final burn counts. We can do this real fast.
Oh,
sweet.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We set our over-under last week.
Yeah. I nailed that one. Here we go.
It's so funny watching
that. We're waiting. Double E. Red Auto 5.
Oh, yeah. Talk candy, team hold. Event. Thank you. The Avengers reference. Thank you.
Double E, Red Auto 5. This guy. Watch out for this guy. In So Rare. He puts up the numbers.
Yeah.
In the private league leaderboard, almost on a weekly basis, with over 100 people in my private league. So
that's amazing. I've seen him in the
guy comes to play, and he's a big baseball guy too. So excited to get down and compete with Double E.
Seen him in the candy streets too, for sure.
Sweet. All right, Nate, the screen's yours.
Cool. So shout out to my partner in crime over at Talking Candy, David FD, as many know him by. He was tracking all this along the way and giving people updates, but basically we ended up with an unsurprising Trout up at the top, Judge right behind him, and then Julio a little bit behind there in third place with the biggest mint counts right here. And then we had, a fair number of guys that only ended up with 30. I think that the total was 2380, which was just a little bit below 8,500. So I nailed that over under. You guys crushed it. But yeah, I think the story here, in my opinion, and we don't have to take too long on this, curious what Greg's thoughts are, but this as a product, as a reward structure, et cetera, it was a relative disaster. It was poorly executed. It took way too long to actually come to fruition. And because of that, as you can see, we got less than 2,500 jersey burns out of the 38,000 that were minted. But the silver lining is that we were left with something that is, one, a pretty cool asset. They did a nice job with it. It's simple, it's clean, but it looks good, like all of Candy stuff. And ultimately, we have something that is a very low mint count, especially if you dipped below like Mookie, right? So I think that, to me, the most intriguing batch is right in here. Yeah. 58 for O'Neal Cruz, 73 for Wander, 74 for Devers, 76 for Whip, 78 for Adley. So we're left with some really low mint count stuff that has some long-term upside as a cool collectible with minimal mints. So it was a bit of a botch, to say the least, but we were left with a pretty cool product in the end. So the people that remained ended up with something cool.
Yeah. I got a question for you. What's the initial liquidity been like? I mean,
almost non-existent, because effectively it was open mint, so you never really see liquidity at the end of something where, it was consistently $35 to $40 to buy a jersey. People knew the price, and sellers are kind of holding steady, because I don't think anybody expected to be able to flip, which would have been a bad assumption.
Sure.
Yeah. I think your analysis of the whole process is spot on. Absolutely spot on. It was so interesting I found myself like mentally juggling between being like, what a bummer that there's not many jerseys being burned, and like, what does this mean for the product, between that and like, don't burn anymore, baby. I'm getting that like 85 mint Devers or whatever. But I think you nailed it on the head. And also shout out to FD and to you and to your Discord. Your like consistent updates throughout the week was must see TV. I was like, doing it in the Talking Candy Discord, and just like, I would check that before I check the Candy Discord, just to be like, where are we at? Who do I got to burn next? Who can I swing?
All credit to David on that one. He nailed it.
Yeah, it was awesome. And again, like, goes to show, like, you guys know what the community wants to see, which is why you did that. And like, that's the kind of stuff Candy should be doing. They should be like doing that in real time, gamifying it. Just like, if anyone could do it in the community, they could do it too. But either way, shout out to you guys for doing that.
Appreciate it.
I'm curious Nate, what you think the future of these jerseys are from a utility standpoint. I love throwing hot takes around.
Yeah.
And I'll share just what I threw into your Discord, but like the way that Top Shot has their challenges, knowing that Candy, whether they look similar or not, Candy's going to have challenges and gamification coming up. There's a cheat code. So if you have a legendary or a specific, moment from a player, sometimes you can just cheat code and bypass the challenge and just use that. And I feel like these jerseys might play a role like that.
I think that's a cool take, and I've heard some other cool takes. I admittedly have a bit of a blind spot with these because it was such a rough process to get here. So I think that I'm still rebounding from that, but I do think that if Candy predicted these mint counts and they did this because they knew that it was going to ultimately be a cool reward for the people that were sticking around, then I think that you could be on the right track. I think that when it comes to campaigns, especially knowing that you have to imagine that the majority of the active Candy collectors who burned at least one jersey, myself included, did it for their team. So the ability to make this be some type of gateway into something team related, maybe it's the team pack drops that we get for the second drop. Maybe it's just additional collection challenges that these will be really tough to come by, right? Like I did a Devers. There's only 2 or 3 listed right now, and they're a couple $100s each. Like, you're not getting these for a reasonable price on a lot of them. So yeah, I think that if they wanted to, they certainly could do a lot more with it. And I think I just haven't let myself get my hopes up on something that was a fool's errand to get your hopes up on for so long.
Yeah. I think that's also, again, more realistic that nothing really comes of these or it's used in a team loyalty way. Because, every example we have up until now is that it's, we did it. Here it is.
Yeah.
And then no real forethought for the future. So
yeah, with so much product coming, it's, I could see them just kind of moving to put, I'm not saying never, but putting the focus on to other stuff right now.
Yeah.
It's an interesting thing to see for me, like as a collector through Top Shot, through Candy now, like which teams build a nucleus of collectors and why, right? It's like, is the fact that, the Red Sox collectors are stronger and that team is stronger, right? Like, is that because you guys are talking to each other and bringing your friends into it and kind of building the community organically within, what it is in Candy? Like one of the things that I noticed too, like that's kind of how the Golden State Warriors is on Top Shot, like a lot of the tech focused cities, like especially like Toronto too, you see a lot of Toronto fans out there, a lot of the guys that are big into crypto who are supporting sports also. Like those are really the thriving community. So you see a combination of that and like who the players are too that were chosen. I think when I looked at the Crawford, it was a relatively low mint count, but nobody was listing them. Like even with the Crawford Titan, like I burned the Titan on that, and I didn't sell it. I was hoping to get a jersey number, but it was a low mint count number, and those just aren't on the market. The prices stayed, and they're not trading, but they're not like being fire sold either. So I think there's something to say for that. It's interesting to kind of see which teams are doing that. What are the biggest ones that you've seen in Candy kind of?
What do you mean biggest?
Like, like a concentration of fans, yeah.
That's a good question. I don't know. Have you noticed, Greg?
Anything? I think it's more, the jerseys is a good example of this. I think it's more player driven. Whereas Nate and I burned for Sox jerseys because we're Sox fans, but far and away the top jerseys Trout. But I would argue that does not mean that there are Angels fans, outweighing everyone else on the site.
Sure.
So I think it's been because there isn't much team product. It's truly been players. I feel like that's more the angle. I don't know. Other than that, I'm not sure if there's like a real team affinity yet. But a huge area for growth for them. I mean, Nate and we were talking about this in the Discord, just like, where are the team leaderboards? Let's get that going. And then trading, and then, individual player leaderboards, all that stuff is, there for them to figure out and do. And I know technically it's harder than it sounds for us to just be like, yo, just enable trading. And they have to figure out how to do that on the blockchain and in real time. And like, what happens when you accept a trade you didn't mean to, all that stuff. But man, I should use your words, Nate. You said it perfectly in the chat, just about like, if it ain't gamification and it's collection, let us do what we would normally do with a collection or something like that.
Yeah. And you know what? The first person to really say that was Stripling when he came on the show. I'm pretty sure it was Stripling. And he was like, the best part of collecting as a kid was trading. And we should be able to do that if that is the focus. And that very clearly is the focus. So, as I've dabbled in Sorare a little bit and seen the ability to send out offers and you can add cards and all that, we got to have that. That has to be part of this if it's truly going to be digital collectibles at the center.
I preach so much that the blueprint is completely there with the Topps Bunt app, and say what you will, it's all free or freemium. But the most fun part of this dumb app that's just truly digital collectibles without any monetary value is the trading. Like that, you're completing sets, you're trading back and forth. That makes the app what it is. And so to have candy without that is truly, we're just selling to each other, and it just levels it up so much. So I can't wait for them to figure that out.
Yep.
It's going to be awesome. Should we transition it into Sorare, or do we want to, when's the next drop on candy? When's the Showstoppers?
Wednesday, the 29th at 1 p.m. Eastern, I believe. Don't quote me on the time, but it's definitely Wednesday midday. And those are $43 packs, and there's not a lot of them. So I would say that they sell out very quickly, probably in a matter of seconds, to be honest. At most minutes. That's my guess.
Yep.
How many packs? 2023?
Yeah, 20. Yeah, something like that. 2,000 packs times $43. And at the moment, it's a transaction limit of 10 and a collector limit of 10.
Okay.
Which people are asking for that to be shifted, which I definitely understand why.
Downward.
They're gonna sell out no matter what. I don't think that they need to be sold out to the first 200 people that buy. You could spread the love out a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Nice.
Oh man.
Yeah. Shift it downward. Yeah.
March 29th, 1 p.m. Eastern, so 10 a.m. Pacific. So do I have a meeting is the question. And if so, I'm out of luck.
And if so, and if not so, can your wife assist again as she did?
She draws a line on spending hundreds of dollars on digital collectibles.
Nice. Awesome. I'm gonna need to get that Topps Bunt app. I'm gonna share my screen. We'll roll into Sorare, but I'm excited. I'm gonna be lining up for that drop if I can, if I don't have a meeting also. So hopefully I can get in there and get me some Showstoppers. I love the low mint counts on that drop. So Sorare, let's kick it off. Big news, man. First thing I got pulled up here, 2 new ambassadors. Julio Rodriguez, Juan Soto, in all the Sorare gear, just swagged out, full photo shoots, full content deals. Like, this is so legit. It was so exciting to see. I was at work all day when this happened, so I didn't catch up until I got off, like in the afternoon. And I was like, wait, what? All that happened? And I didn't even know about it. Like, wasn't checking my phone that day or anything. Just really, really cool to see, man. You imagine, I was talking to somebody out that's a content creator out there. He's like, what kind of deals are those? 6 or 7 figure deals? I'm like, I would think so. Like 7 figures for sure. Like, but also could be equity deals too. You don't know how those things typically work out, but Sorare has just done an insane job with their partnerships. I mean, when you see a guy like Lionel Messi walking around with a soccer jersey that says Sorare on it, like across the chest, like it doesn't get much better than 2 of the youngest and brightest stars in the game. I mean, these guys are, just that. Like, I don't think they could have picked 2 better guys with the personalities that they have too. Like,
right. Like, it's as good as it gets. I was blown away. Like, you really couldn't nail it with 2 better players. And to your point, you don't always get the combination of star power and personality.
Yep.
and these guys have it. So it's a home run.
I'm totally with you. Can you pull it back up?
Yeah,
for 1 second.
For sure.
Can I be picky as someone who works in marketing?
Yeah. Which one do you want to see?
Incredible partnership. Incredible, like the fact that they flew John out and he interacted with them and they have content for days with them.
Cool.
Brilliant, perfectly executed. Scroll down on this one, or scroll down on or just any photo of those guys.
On a photo?
Yeah, or you can leave here. My only note, you got to throw Sorare on that jersey.
Yes.
You got to throw a big Sorare. Like, their logo's cool, but no one knows that that's Sorare yet.
Right.
Oh,
and
good
so,
point.
you see these guys out. It's hard enough to tell who they are without their, for a casual fan, without either the Padres or the Mariners on their chest.
Yeah. Or their last name.
Yeah. Throw Sorare on that. It looks empty, and I feel like it would travel more. But that said,
no, it's a good
asterisks on the incredible partnership. Like they nailed it getting these guys.
Unbelievable. Yeah. Like what I mean, like as somebody who wasn't like, you guys weren't as tied into Sorare as I was, especially through the basketball season and stuff like that. And they had guys like, they did interviews, they did Rudy Gobert, they did Karl Anthony Towns, but like, and those guys are great. Don't get me wrong, but these two guys right here, not being tied into Sorare NBA too much, like Nate, I think you said you're like astounded or something. I don't forget the word that you used, but like what was going through your mind when you saw this news drop?
Yeah, like I said, I was blown away. Like it just doesn't get any better than these two guys. So it's a big move by Sorare. Sorare MLB is not big yet. It's not, right? They've got a good volume of participation in the free games. But it's a growing Discord. I think it's a great design for the game, but this is a big move to try and get more people to be paying attention. And if you're a fan of baseball, you know who Soto and JRod are. So you can't say the same for every single baseball player. It's a tough sport in that way. So to have those two guys it's a big push. It's a big push.
For sure. Should we look at our teams?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it, man. Okay, so I put out a video on the YouTube channel, a full video on me drafting this team. I started cutting the video in the evening time. And then I was just like, all right, I'm going to be live on camera. I'm just going to do this thing real quick. I'm going to put out the roster. 2 hours later, had turned off the camera and decided that I was going to wake up at 5 a.m. the next morning to get this thing done once I had actually done all the research that I felt like I needed to do. And of course, I drafted the team. And then hours later, Iglesias on the IL. So it's not done yet, but I'll share mine first, I guess. Here's what I came up. Oh, hey-o.
At least you didn't buy him as your limited closer, which is what I did.
There we go. At least there's that. So, I'm trying to find a way to.
Have you submitted it into the contest yet?
No, we can do that. I was actually going to do that later, but I'll do that part right now then, because I was going to show people who are new how to actually submit the contest. It was a big reason why I decided to go in on Sorare MLB. Oh, wow. Okay, there we go.
Nice.
So I was going to show people how to do that. But so in order to come up and play these contests, you're going to go to play. You're going to go to upcoming, and you'll see that there's a ton of competitions here. I can break these all down for you guys later on. But one of the things I want to talk about after we kind of share our rosters is which competition to go into. Like there's depending on your level of skill, depending on what your gallery looks like, there's different payout percentages, different prize pools, different number of participants in each. So that's like a really important thing to take care of. If you're only going to enter one competition, it's probably going to be the one where you have the best chance of winning, as opposed to one with a lot less, one that may be fun and exciting, but you're not going to have really quite a chance to yield or get up on that leaderboard. So we'll get into that later, but I'll put in my common all-star lineup, which is the one that everyone can play all the time, no matter whether or not you've won cards, no matter whether or not you've entered high-level competitions. This one is free for everybody. And my first starting pitcher, I had to go with Strider at a 15 cap. Iglesias was the second guy. And then I just fired away with the Jays. Vladdy, Bo Bichette, Varsho, And then it's going to be either Brandon Belt or Corbin Carroll. Probably I'll go with Brandon Belt for now, but Corbin Carroll could be my flex.
Go Corbin with the fourth game.
Oh yeah,
One
exactly.
extra game, right?
With the fourth game, there you go. Yeah, the stack.
Well, if you're using two hitters anyway,
exactly.
Which I think it's pretty much the most interesting part of setting these so rare lineups is what to do with your extra player.
Sure.
Going between another bat and another starter.
Exactly. So if you click in on this, I just set that lineup. I did it real quick, but then it'll show you a nice display here of who you all got. It tells you how many games they have. Remember, it's cumulative scoring. So you're scoring every single game that they have. Strider's only going to have one in this 3-game span. Of course, Iglesias is out. I'll be redrafting a couple of guys that I liked at the same price point as him. I'll probably just go in and get Bautista, instead of Iglesias. And of course, like when you're jumping into these contests too, I guess one thing to know too, it's kind of just flowing like this, but you're able to win common cards. So this competition right here, if you go to the prize pool, like you see that there's only 100 limited cards given away, but every single person who enters, even the person who comes in the very last place, is still going to get a tier 5 common card to add, which you can then trade out of your collection if you wanted to. And replace somebody else. They're capping it at 15 common cards. So it's kind of like a condensed gallery, a lot of strategy going into that. So once you start winning, I think there's, in my NBA competition, I have like basically every tier 1 possible. So if you have all the top tier guys, you're going to have to filter people out of there if you want to add somebody new on your next one. So the strategy is definitely going to come into place on that. What do you guys think? What do you guys think of the roster?
I like it. I think the stack concept is a really good one for this game format, right? Because it's a small percentage of people that get paid out, and stacking has that upside. You have a team go off, and you could find yourself up top the leaderboard. So you need a lot more things to line up when you're cherry picking players. And I don't know, maybe the game of baseball doesn't realize that you stacked them, but I think that it plays in this style of fantasy baseball.
Yeah, that's one of the things I was actually going back into, like past winning lineups from last year. Noticed a lot of stacking. So a lot of DFS, there's at least one stacks, but some of these guys like had 4 or 5 guys, and it was typically the Braves, the Mets, those teams that are scoring a lot of runs, batting each other in, hitting homers, stuff like that. Big OPS teams. I saw those up on the leaderboards a lot, and I kind of played around with a few different options. I was looking at some Brave stacks. I kind of really wanted to go that route. The Mets was tempting too. Who else did I have as potential stacks? The teams that I looked at to stack were, I can't find the spreadsheet right now, but yeah, there was a handful of them that I kind of took a look at. And it was a lot of fun. So one of you guys want to share your team?
Yeah, Greg, you want to go?
Full disclosure, I have yet to draft.
Oh, you haven't drafted yet. All right.
No, I'm here to learn.
Let me
but I know I got to do it today, right?
Hey, make sure you give yourself ample time.
Let me
and you can always and for those who don't know watching, you can always redraft before the first game of the season.
So can I ask a question? Are you just drafting based on your like salary in, for lack of a better term, or are you actually drafting with other people who are scooping other players off the board?
Nope.
Just do the salary. Here, I'll show
salary.
Okay,
cap.
Great.
Yeah, salary cap.
I'll go back. So if you, like you said, you can redraft your squad at any point. It doesn't wipe your team as long as you don't submit a new one. But basically the way this works is that you've got 120 of these blue gems to spend, and each player has a salary associated with them. So DeGrom at 20, and it goes all the way down to 5 at the bottom. And as you click a guy, it shows you the drop in your salary and so on and so forth. So you're just rounding out the 10-man roster and then submitting it at the end. So you've got all the time in the world. Probably don't have enough time to do it on this show, but you're definitely going to enjoy the process. Like Eric said, once I started doing it, this is free contests, no money on the line. And I spent like 2 or 3 hours doing this because it was just a fun experience.
Yeah, I can
Super
already
fun.
tell this is going to be. I got to set a time.
Some of them are head scratchers, like as to how did they get that value in there. You'll find a couple of steals, like a couple of your Red Sox, Sale and Yoshida are 5 points only.
Yep.
So a lot of uncertainty there. Like stuff.
What
Yeah,
if-
but then what's that?
One more dumb question. Yoshida, I see Yoshida there, and then I saw, was it Corbin Carroll had that specific color to it? Does that mean
Pink
it's not a
rookie.
common? Oh,
It's
it's
a
rookie.
Rookie.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's got
Oh.
the RC badge right here. And then they
hell
add
yeah.
that pink accent to all the rookies. You'll see it on the limited cards too. There'll be that pink.
Such a clean design. I love
Yeah.
it.
And they're gonna. Do you think they'll still wipe these next year? That's so hard not to treat that as a collectible.
I know.
Go
wipe them.
You'll have to grab the limited version.
Okay.
On it.
But yeah, so I did not go the stack route. I do not have experience with Sorare. I played a couple throwaway games last year with not a ton of attention. So this is the first time where I'm really putting some effort into it. But I decided to go studs and $5 players. So I got five $5 players and I got 5 guys that were 18 or more. So I went feast or famine. I wanted to get as many stars as possible because of what you said with the, we are going to have a max of 15 cards. So the way that I see it throughout the season, I'm trying to get as many of the top tier cards as possible. And if that's what I'm working towards, then I'll buy as many of them as I can up front before there's randomness in play. So Yoshida was the free square of free squares to me. $5 for a guy that's going to start in the middle of a solid team's lineup, right? It's, I've been talking a lot of smack about the Sox, but there's still going to be a decent offense. So for him to be minimum price didn't make sense. And you were the one that pointed it out to me. So went with him. But then, yeah, you can see my 5 guys on the left here. Ohtani was not a pitcher that I took. I took him at the corner infield DH spot so that I could grab 5 $5 pitchers. So I went Sale, Dustin May, and Jack Flaherty, and then Yoshida and a throwaway Bryce Terang at middle infield. Yeah, middle infield to round that out. But left you with some serious studs. I've gone back and forth on taking Soto out because of the oblique, but I'm so high on Soto that we'll weather that storm. And I think Jose Ramirez is the best player in Sorare baseball.
Yeah, I agree. Your team is loaded. I saw it and I was like, wait, how did he get all those guys in there? And it was because of the $5 pitchers, right? Like, obviously, if Sale gets blown up in a start, like, you're kind of toast. But, like, in that position only, not to say that, Ramirez, Turner, and Soto can't all make up that extra room for you. Mm-hmm. It's just a different strategy,
And I'm banking on Sale being hurt by like week 4, but I'm hoping that I have some new cards in the collection by then. So to me, it was just was the starting point, knowing that we're going to be adding commons along the way, and hopefully one of those will be a starter sooner rather than later.
Yep. Adding 5 only though. That's the point. We got a question. We got a question here. Redraft weekly, or is the lineup for the year? The lineup's for the year, but you can filter them out. They're going to introduce daily swaps. So once every single day, once the season starts, you're going to be able to turn in one of your cards and then get an option of 5, at least how it works in the NBA, 5 other cards to take back in turn, right? And they do a really good job about kind of doing it, whatever the phrase is, but like an equal trade is what I'm getting at. So if you're trading in a guy like Ohtani, then you're going to get one of the other best 5 players in the NBA. Exactly. Swaps like NBA. There you go, Ace.
I gotta say, shout out to Sorare. I'm like goofing around with my draft right now, and I tried to do a all injured squad that I was going to pull up as a joke. But shout out to Sorare. They removed like Hoskins. They've removed Evan Diaz. They've removed players that are out for the season already.
Yep.
So good.
Guardrails.
Bad for my humor, but good for them.
Another thing too is I'm going to get to this later on at the end of the video. Maybe I can take a look. Maybe I can even talk about it now too, but they don't put out players when they're injured, right? So even if a player is injured for a month, during that time span, the rewards that are coming out, those aren't going to land. You're not going to have to worry about landing an injured player, even if it's a top guy, right? So And that kind of limits their supply too. Like if they were releasing players like Fernando Tatis Jr. right now, people would be sitting on him up until April 20th or whenever he comes back. If they were being released as rewards, then his price or his value just gets diluted more and more and more as it goes into it. And people who bought it up front are just kind of taking the hit. But there is no option to buy Tatis right now. And there won't be until he actually plays a game this year. So
it's great design.
Yeah, it's cool.
I see you, Ace. I see you in the chat. You're not wrong.
We'll throw it on the screen. Here we go. Double E. Can't Ohtani be used as a pitcher or offensive depending on the game week? Yeah, absolutely. Correct. Yeah, you can use Ohtani as a pitcher or an offensive player if you want. They're just not scoring his offensive and pitching stats at the same exact time. So you're not double dipping in the same week, but it's a versatile card, which is an advantage for sure, especially with a guy like Shohei.
Oh, man, I'm already sucked into this.
It's so much fun.
It's a blast, man. It's great. Class A at 18 was just so far and above the other guys in the level. I tried everything that I could to get on there and get him on the squad, but just decided to save it elsewhere. So, all right,
Yoshida at 5. I promise I won't duplicate your lineup, Nate, but I gotta go Yoshida at 5.
He's a free square. You got to take him.
Yeah.
And honestly, I don't know how you don't take Ohtani with the ability to pitch him on the half week where he's pitching and bat him on the half week where he's not. It just feels like a cheat card.
Yeah,
so true.
The only reason I didn't take Ohtani is because I figured every single other person would take Ohtani. And I decided to completely blow up the strategy and go hard on the Jays. So here we go.
I need to figure out scoring too. Are you rewarded for strikeouts? Is there overly rewarded for strikeouts versus?
Yeah. There's a clear scoring metric.
Yeah, we don't have to get into it.
Check it out on how to play. I have a full beginner's video on it. But it's really logical and makes sense. They added 2 new things from last year that they didn't have into this year's scoring. So they made a couple of very brief wrinkles. Those were
relief appearances, right?
Relief appearance and caught stealing. So caught stealing is a negative. Relief appearance is an additional 5 just for getting in the game. So
nice.
It buffers it out a little bit. I think it was a nice move.
I cannot wait to see if the steal numbers end up being where everybody is ridiculously predicting that they will be.
Yeah.
I think they go up, but I don't understand a slightly larger base doubling people's steal totals. Maybe I'm wrong. I mean, I know it's more than that. It's the pickoffs, it's the pitch clock, it's all of it put together, but double? We'll see. I hope they're right.
Yeah.
I just can't get over that scenario of a pitcher throwing over twice and then not being able to throw over again. And then how big of a lead a runner can take. Is it true that if they've thrown over twice, now they can't throw over again, so the batter can take as big of a lead as they want in theory, they can throw over one more time, but if they don't get him out, it's a balk? Is that right?
That's what I heard. The third throw over, if you don't get him, is a balk.
That's nuts.
Mm-hmm.
And imagine a runner on third.
Yep.
When you're throwing over to first and risking a balk,
it's not going to happen. Yeah, he's going to take off.
Kike on first with Devers on third. Kike is just going to walk. Those scenarios are going to be insane.
Yep, it's going to produce some really cool gamesmanship. There's going to be some new elements of baseball that we're not predicting yet.
Yeah, it's wild.
Let's go. All right, so I think the last thing to wrap it up is when you come to we're not going to have an episode before we need to submit our lineups here. So I wanted to get in and just kind of talk a little bit about the reward structure, right? The first 2 minors and majors. Minors is if you've never won a reward before. So you can go in there as long as you haven't won a limited card, you can play minors, right? 200 rewards, 100% of people are pulling in a reward. So you're increasing your common card gallery, no matter what. Same with the common all-star. Anybody can play that one. Majors is kind of like the dip your toes into the limited competitions. You get a 40% boost for limited cards. And all this info, guys, is just you click the little eye and it kind of breaks down the rules for each one, the prize points, the games in the game week, prize pool. So for you, probably Nate and Greg, if you haven't seen this stuff yet, you can click directly in here. And
those are live now. They weren't live before.
It'll tell you who the tier 2 guys are, right? So if you're going to get a tier 2 reward, these are the guys. If you want a tier 1 reward, these are the guys. And one of the things that I like to go for is like, I'm going after my best shot to win a tier 3 or higher. Like that's what I always target, because in the NBA, sometimes it's great. Like winning anything is great, but sometimes the tier 4 and the tier 5, especially as the season goes on, they become not as liquid, right? And not as usable in your contest. It's different in the NBA because the guy can become usable because the cap structure is different. But with an unlimited cap space on the MLB, and just playing solely positions based on the players that you have, it's really about getting the best players possible in that lineup. So it's not going to be you're not going to want a guy in there that, may have a chance to pinch hit and hit a home run because he's got a low cap and, he's got big boom potential for a small, like fitting budget. There is no budget, right? It is boom or, stack it as much as possible. So check a look into those. Again, this page is so easy to navigate to, and you just register right here. It's easy to delete the lineup and put a new one. It locks, at least in basketball, 10 minutes before the first tip off of the day. So it's probably going to be the same way. You're going to want to probably do it on Sunday nights and Wednesday nights. Is probably when you're going to want to lock this thing, so you don't wake up, have a random morning game on the East Coast as a West Coast guy and forget to set your lineup, and then you're out for the week. So,
just problems.
Yeah. Pay attention to just the payout numbers, right? The limited all-star is going to be easier than the limited pro, like more competitive, but higher rewards. So they give away rares, like next level up in the pros. They give away super rares in the rare pros, but you really got to be hitting at a high level, like a top 10 player in that, right? And a pretty healthy payout of limited cards in this limited all-star right here. So right now there's 2,000. We'll see where these numbers go by the end of the week. I'm thinking they probably double. But still, even if they do double, that's, 10% of people playing in that competition are winning a reward. So top 10% is something to strive for, Then you build your collection. None of these things expire, so you add slowly as the season goes. I love that Sorare is not a constant spend, it's, if you want to set a budget and you want to stick to that budget, you can trade your cards, and kind of stay true to that the whole season, have fun for a whole season on a certain budget without having to spend to keep up. So
it's actually a very close simulation to real baseball, because whether you want to be the Rays or the Dodgers, you can compete and you can win something.
Yep.
And the way that's, balanced out with the fact that you're not going to compete with a collection that has Trout and Ohtani and Jose Ramirez and all that,
right,
most likely on any given week. But
right,
that person put a ton of money in. So
right,
their payout, like their placement needs to be much higher for them to consider it a success. Whereas,
exactly,
for me, I'm jumping into limited. I set a $200 budget and I'm going to see how that plays out. Where do I stack up? Am I getting smoked by huge collections? But at the end of the day, some guys spent $200 on a single card. I don't need to succeed at the same level. So it's a pretty cool simulation, and it's a very unique format of fantasy baseball.
And it's cool, man. If you pick your guys early and you ride them, you may not have the best for me in NBA, right? I didn't have the best ratio of winning, right, throughout the season, right? I won a lot lower of a percentage of tournaments that I actually entered than a lot of other people out there. But what I did is I kind of looked at it as a season-long fantasy team where if all my guys hit on the same day, then I do have a good chance of winning. I ended up in the top 150 of the limited competition, where each time, I think the first time that I won, there was 6,500 people. I ended up in the top 50 there. I ended up in 4 times. And then that was even up to like 10,000 participants at a certain point. So 4 times throughout the season, basically just using the same guys, using $300 budget at the beginning of the season, kind of to fit it in there. And it was pretty much the same guys in my lineup every week, and they didn't do great some weeks. I was embarrassed some weeks, and then some weeks, like, boom, we're gold. So that's kind of another strategy that you could take too. One thing people like to ask me, and I want to mention this before we leave too, is the auctions versus the manager sales, right? I think we all know that last year's cards lose a 5% like current year bonus. So anything that you're getting right now is getting a 5% bonus for being in a current year. The thing about supply and demand on Sorare is they completely kind of control the market. You don't have a mint schedule or anything like that, right? One of the things that you need to keep look out for is the rewards, right? Like a rewards game week is like a new drop. So not only are they trickling these to whatever they think is a healthy amount on the marketplace, right, for people to buy and auction on and to kind of keep prices stable or whatever to be competitive. But when you go back over to,
I bid on that Blyer, by the way.
The upcoming games, you bid on what?
That Blyer. It's ending in 8 seconds.
Let us know if you pull through. But this is all being released in supply too. So this is like, there's no drops on Sorare. You're not buying blind packs or anything like that. They may do some sort of starter pack or something, but the drops are the game week rewards, right? That's where new supply goes into the market. And that's when, people start to either hold or list those to kind of determine pricing dynamics. One of the sites that I do like to use is Sorare Data. And I think they do a really good job. I think an example that I just have off the top of my head is a guy who I'm hoping has a big bounce back year this year is Chris Bryant. And he's a former Giant, and he's in Colorado. And it shows you just up at the top here. And I mentioned this earlier on, so I think it's a good example. Like, he was injured most of last year. Out of the 5,000 total possible limited cards that they put a cap on, that's just a maximum. So they only actually released 108 Chris Bryant limiteds and 22 out of 1,000 of the Chris Bryant rares. So that's the existing supply on the market right now. Like a very minuscule fraction of it. So their ability to keep things healthy is something I think that is great. Like, I mean, yeah, prices dip towards the end of the year. People want to sell stuff. People want to fire sell. Stuff's not going to be useful for the off season. So, they're going to want the newest and shiniest and brightest cards. Sometimes growth is a little bit slower than not, but with the finger that they have on the pulse of the market, I think it's cool that the way that they're doing it. So, something to look out for. Let me see here. It looks like we got a couple questions here. All right. I was tempted to bid,
Thank
but
you, Borland.
Greg won it. There we go, Borland.
Give me the win.
There we go.
$1.42. I feel like that.
And who was it that you bid on?
Blyer. He's a relief pitcher for the Sox.
Sweet.
Totally unknown. I think he has he balked 3 times in one inning last year. Right? So buying at the floor, baby.
There we go.
Can only go up.
Yep.
Hey, no, don't say that. We all know that ain't true. Chops, what's going on, man? Wondering if lineups last year that won still would have won if it didn't have the 5% boost. That's something that we'll see. It's a good question. There's gonna be a blend. That'll be really interesting to see too. Experience points definitely come into place. Like, for me, what I've noticed on Sorare NBA is if you go over to like a contest, right, and where experience points really come into play is if you're going for this limited all-star, right, and you want to look at this prize list, and you're like, a lot of times you'll be right on the cusp, man. Are you like 79 or are you 80? Are you 179 or are you 180? Or are you on the cusp of like literally being in a reward or out of reward for a week? Guys with experience, these points are fractional at that point within a couple of them. So that's where you want to make sure you're training your guys all the time, because if it comes down to that, you're going to want to have that person who has that extra boost. If you're training and get that training experience, which is kind of an advanced tip, right? It also kind of gives you a little bit of an edge when you're going to make a sale on the manager market. Like, you would obviously rather buy a guy with a 9% experience than a 6.5% experience. So, because you do lose, I think, a little bit when you trade on the market too. So, there's little nuances here and there that are kind of pro tips that come into play that are also super fun part of the gameplay. Here we go. Killian, any thoughts on Carlos Correa? Are we sure he is healthy after failing medical tests for the Giants, etc.? Such a pain point for me. I think he's going to be all right. Yeah, I don't know. It's tough. That was all craziness, but that had a lot of money tied to it for a very long period
for
of time.
decade. That's like the decade outlook. I feel like for this season, I mean, I've got him in like round 16 in my fantasy draft, which is crazy that's like the marketing headline for him.
Yeah.
That in this season, he's going to regress that much. I don't think it's this season.
Yeah.
There's certainly some truth to the idea that like a decade from now, he's not going to be worth the money they were going to spend, but it seems insane to not take the bet on him at the absolute floor right now. Right.
Oh yeah, for sure. I like Carlos Correa a lot. So
I cannot stand Carlos Correa.
What's that?
I cannot stand Carlos Correa, and I will never back down from that position.
Yeah.
I'm over the whole Astros thing, except for that one guy. Just the way he handled it was so horrible. I'm off Correa. He'll never make a lineup of mine, regardless of price.
Even if he was only 5 blue chips on So Rare,
he's out.
He's not. He's 13.
It's the free square you're taking a pass on.
Free square I'm taking a pass on. Touche.
Soul bro agrees with you. All right, I'm done. That's all I got on So Rare. If anybody has any questions, they can pipe them in the chat. But I mean, we're at an hour and 30. It was a long show, but it was a preseason show. So we're back with, after opening day next week. So lots of fun stuff. I can't wait for opening day, man, and the season. So we'll also have a full, actually we won't. So we're gonna have basically a full game week except for Sunday night baseball in the book. So we'll kind of be able to compare lineups and stuff too.
Yeah. We'll also be able to recap Showstoppers, the drop from Candy. And it's going to be fun.
Going to be a blast.
Baseball season, baby.
All right. I sent this off last time. One of you guys could take us out of here this time if you want.
I will say this is the last Sunday where baseball doesn't matter until November. Let's go.
Go, baby.
See you next week.
Congrats to Japan on the World Baseball Classic. Opening day is Thursday. We'll see you guys next week.